Women hit the wall at age 30. This is a common theme in the red pill community that women cannot stand, they hate, they don't like it, they attack us for it. However, it's just biology, right? It's just true. And this is often why in our community we tell these women to get married before that happens, right? We're trying to help you out. You know, unlike your girlfriends who are basically lying their asses off to you and telling you like, no, you're a queen, boss babe, girl boss. Oh, 30 is a new 20, 40 is a new 15, 50 is a new 10. No, it's not, man. All right, 30 is 30, 40 is 40, and 50 is 50. And you are going to age, and you're going to keep aging. And the longer that you stay out there without a man, you're going to age even faster, right? Let's be real here. You're going to age even faster because you're going to be going out more. You're going to be stressing more, work a full-time job to pay for all your expenses. You're not going to have a family. You're stressing out on all the dudes who keep ghosting you from the dating apps. You're going to be looking at your watch going, oh, when am I going to find my Prince Charming? And it really doesn't happen after age 30. I've said this over and over to these ladies. They don't like it, but it is true. If you have not found love, by the time you turn 30, the chances of that happening are slim to none. So much so as a gambling man, I'm a gambling man. If I could bet on Polymarket, like for each individual woman who turns 30, like the chances of her becoming married suddenly or finding a husband getting married, I would be betting millions on this, right? And I would become a billionaire overnight from all the women who fail to find a husband after 30, right? The odds would totally be in my favor. Of course, some DJs be like, did you know Taylor Swift just got married to Chad, Travis Kelce? It's like, yeah, but you're not Taylor Swift, right? And good luck finding yourself a blue pill, beta Chad like Travis Kelce is. I mean, the guy is completely living in the Matrix, let's be honest. Right? The dude pushes vaccines and dates 35-year-old DGs. Look at the woman he's marrying. This woman has been with dozens of dudes, right, publicly. We don't even know about the ones that weren't famous. We only know about the ones who were famous. Each and every relationship, she's failed. Okay? She cannot hang on to a man. And then miraculously, you think that she's going to be able to hang on to Travis Kelce, that they're going to be married like forever and ever? Yeah, good luck with that fantasy. I don't know about you, but I like to live in reality. I don't live at Disney World. I live here in reality, in California. The women who are married don't need to worry. And these women are never in my comments, by the way. Those chicks never attack me. I have never gotten a woman who is happily married with her husband, or just married, period, even if she's not happily married, send me nasty messages in the middle of the night or on Christmas, like some of these DGs have. I couldn't believe I was getting hate mail on Christmas. It just tells you they don't have a family. They had time, like on Christmas, to message a YouTube pickup artist to tell me how much I suck because I say that women hit the wall after 30 and you're DG after that. All right, all facts. They don't like it. And instead of taking like accountability for that, I go like, maybe I am damaged goods. Maybe I should, make myself better. Nope. They come after me because I have the balls to say it. That's becoming a very valuable skill these days, telling the truth. I'm seeing a lot of people blow up. A lot of people's channels, social media, not even just on YouTube, just blow up for being honest. And people who are used to spinning the narrative, keeping things politically correct, and keeping these women in their echo chamber, their ratings are dying, right? Nobody's watching them anymore. People are flocking away from them, and they're flooding towards creators and content creators like myself who are willing to be honest and tell the truth. Okay, and I like to stay in my lane. My lane is dating and pickup advice. I don't really like to get into the politics stuff, even though we do talk about it sometimes because it's infiltrated like every aspect of our freaking lives. I hate that. It's impossible to have relationships with each other because somebody will get mad if you tell them like, oh yeah, I think Trump's okay on this. What? So it's hard to have relationships with people these days. But regardless, those platforms are dying and we're winning because we tell women the truth. And the truth is, you hit the wall at 30, right? After 30, you are technically considered post-wall. And if we want to be real sticklers about this, it's technically 25. If we want to be really honest, right? Where you begin to lose that, vivaciousness, not even just in your face, but your energy, your spirit, right? Okay, even just getting beyond looks, right? Because there's something about women over 30 that are still single. Because for me, like when we talk about like hitting the wall, it goes beyond looks, but something about these women over 30 that makes you not want to commit to them, you know? And the longer that they stay out there, the less feminine they become, the more masculine they become. We've talked about this, how women, as they get older, they become more masculine. It's like super, super unattractive, right? Men, we don't become more feminine as we get older. I feel like we become more masculine, you know, more dominant. We know ourselves better. It's very attractive to the opposite sex, but women go in the opposite direction. They just become more like dudes, you know, and some start to grow that postmenopausal mustache and they, yeah, ooh, nah, man, I'm not having it. And you can tell too, like when they're older and they're getting the, what do you call that? The tape done, and yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool, man. But it's different if that's your wife and you met her in your 20s and you've been with her this whole time. You're like, honey, you know, hey, man, I met you when you were beautiful. I had a lot of your good years. We've had many good years together. It's okay. We'll go through this together. I'm okay with that, right? If you met the chick in her 20s and she gave you, you know, years of her youth, and, you know, you got something out of her 20s, and then now you're here together in the 30s and 40s, hey, no problem. She's going to get older, and, you know, that's fine. You know, especially if you have kids. I mean, the kids are going to age you, right? Depending on how good or bad your kids are, they're going to age you. But when you're single without a family, I feel like that lifestyle ages you much faster, right? Because you're out there drinking alcohol, you're out there, you know, baking in the sun, you're just not really taking care of yourself as much, you're living with cats, you have a rotation of different men coming in and depositing their semen inside of you. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting in my point of view. But if you look at every Hollywood celebrity, for example, over the age of 30, why is it harder for them to get roles, right? Why is it harder for them to be paired up with the dashing, even the guys at their age, the male lead? They don't want to pair them up with them. They pair them up with a younger co-star. And because movies have gone so woke, they have tried to insert their little propaganda into the movie by hooking up the younger male lead with an older woman. And guess how those movies do? They bomb. Nobody wants to see that. Even women themselves don't want to see that, right? Everybody wants to see the older man with the younger woman every single time. They just want to see pretty woman. They want to see like an old businessman like Richard Gere hook up with a 22-year-old, but not the prostitute version, but just, you know, the young 22-year-old, the hot girl. You know, but that was a little propaganda on Hollywood's part as well. And they weren't that bad back then, but as if this billionaire would choose a prostitute over, you know, any other yeah, that's just such fantasy land. I laugh when I see that movie, but, you know, it's entertaining to watch. I won't lie. However, I know it's BS. But yeah, no, it's not going to happen in real life. And just like women over 30 claiming they don't hit the wall at 30, that's just laughable. Come on, man. I mean, that's like saying, you know, Mike Tyson at 57 years old can beat up his 22-year-old self. No. He can't, right? Just like you cannot compete with your 18-year-old self as a 35-year-old woman, 45-year-old woman, 55-year-old woman, right? Because society doesn't value that, right? Society values youth and fertility. When these chicks do cross over the magic 3-0, what do they scream about and blame the most for their dating woes? What do they blame without fail? Starts with a P. The patriarchy, right? They blame the patriarchy. They blame men's standards for why they are still single. Not their own poor choices, man. No, not all those like dozens of like chads that they were spreading their legs for in their 20s and were ghosting him after, thinking like a better Chad would come along with more money, taller, 8 feet tall. The last one was only 6 foot 4. I want 7 feet, 8 feet. Yeah, I want a gigantic man with billions and trillions of dollars. They're just so hypergamous, it's insane. At no point did she ever think she was ever going to turn 30. That's the problem with these DGs. It's like when they were in their 20s, they never thought that day would come where men would stop committing to them or stop making offers to commit to them. They never thought that day would come. And when that day does come, it's a little bit of a shock. However, these guys will still have sex with them. So they feel like, oh, I'm still winning. But they just can't get the guy to commit. That's when you have to be honest with yourself and be like, hey, I blew it. right? I didn't cash in my chips when I should have, and now the party's over because, as they say in the red pill community, you hit the wall at 30, and I'm sticking by my guns on that. Women hit the wall at 30, and they lose their looks even a few years before that. It just becomes more noticeable once they hit their 30s. I don't know if it's because now they're actually in their 30s, but it definitely becomes more noticeable. And you can tell just it starts to wear on them. There was this Burger King I used to go to where I grew up, in the neighborhood I grew up in. We had this, it's still there. And I used to ride my bicycle there before I even had my license. And there was this woman working there. She was cute, white, petite, brunette. She was in her 20s, so yeah, I was just like 15, so there's no way she would have gone out with me. I remember when she started there, I was like, oh man. I think I even told my brothers, like, there's this cute brunette, just started we didn't used to call it BK, at Burger King. He was like, really? Yeah. And then he comes home and he's like, yeah, I went to the Burger King. She is cute. And she was happy to start working there. She was like, oh my gosh, like mopping everything, like taking everyone's order, like full of life, full of energy. And then fast forward like 30 years later, I happened to be visiting my parents and I was hungry and I was like, I wonder if that Burger King's still there. Go to the Burger King. It's still there. I walk in and I'm like, no, this can't be. No, she's still working there. I couldn't believe it. I was like, the chick is still working at the Burger King. This is 30 years later. I'm a grown man. I've got my 33 Secrets business. I mean, I was like, really? Yeah, and I saw her, and no longer did she have that vivaciousness, yeah, that energy, that spirit. She was just kind of going through the motions, pressing the buttons, getting the mop. It was just now routine for her, and I'm like, why on earth did this chick never settle? Why is she still working at Burger King? It's a sad but true tale, and it just reminds me of a lot of these women who stay out there in the dating market, don't cash in their chips, just keep playing the game into their 20s, into their 30s, into their 40s, into their 50s, to the point where they just look like they're just completely tired of being there. And they are. They complain about it on their social media all the time. Like, I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of dating. Like, so many of these women on these apps, I mean, just very rudely, I've heard stories where, like, some of my followers have sent me their responses to a girl. They just messaged once and was like, hey, how's it going? And then the girl messages them back this laundry list. Okay, if you read this list, if you fit into it, then message me again. If you don't bother. It's like crazy, like not even a response, just this auto list. Like you have to go through this list because of all like the chads who have abused her in the past. She's like, now I have a list, you know, not knowing that she doesn't have the leverage to produce that list anymore. Maybe your 20-year-old self could have given some dude that list and he would have read it, but no guy is going to look at a 40, 50-year-old woman and go, he's going to go, hey, you take this list and shove it up your you-know-what. Anyway, guys, as always, drop your comments below. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button on the way out, and let me know, do you think women hit the wall at 30? Do you think, like a lot of these broads say on their social media, that they get better with age? They look better now at, 38, 48 than they ever did at, 18? You let me know. Drop the comments below. And as always, jump into my 7 months of mastery program if you want to support my work. It's only $1 for the very first month of coaching lessons from me, so take advantage of it. Click the link below. It'll take you over to my website. And until next time, I'll see you.